Yeah, good day, Investor Lifestyle fam. We are on our journey to speak with former Senator Arnold Bertram, an historian. We're in the beautiful parish of St. Ann. Today we have an extremely important guest, a special person in our society. His name is Mr. Arnold Bertram, former senator, former historian, member of the People's National Party. It's a privilege to have you on my program, Investor Lifestyle Jamaica. Thank you, sir.
Right. In the discussion about the Jamaican economy, I'd like to establish a certain context. The Jamaican economy has either grown marginally or not grown at all since 1974. It's an extremely long period. What has happened is that we have had a new global economic environment that we have not appreciated fully. The 30 years between 1944 and 1974 are referred to by economists as the 30 glorious years, because in those years followed what economists describe as a post-World War II consensus. President Roosevelt got 44 countries to meet in the United States, the Bretton Woods Conference, and they agreed to establishing a certain economic environment for economies to grow. And the main features of that new environment was that they were encouraging the state to play a major role in the development of the economy of the country. The state could invest. The state could invest in public works to stimulate the economy and get employment going. Capital, the state could organize that money remained in the respective countries rather than being taken out in the time as now by investors. All that came to an end in the middle of the 70s. And at the same time, there was a world global recession. What happened after was the introduction of a global free market. That is, all goods and services were now going to compete in one global market. If you could not compete, you simply went into bankruptcy. In Jamaica's case, it came at a time when our labor force, and we have not corrected this, the biggest problem we face is that the labor force is not trained or educated, nor sufficiently master technology to produce goods and services that can compete. I come to agriculture. The sugar industry, Tate and Lyle, the biggest investors, left in 1974. Sugar has gone downhill since. The technology applied to sugar is not adequate to global competition. The costs of producing sugar in Jamaica are far too high for Jamaican sugar to compete. Our mode of production is not sufficiently based on modern technology.
Yes, sir.
And the people who are involved in it are still using implements that they used 50 or 100 years ago. That's finished. The banana industry never fully recovered from the Panama disease of 1936. I've had a little bit of recovery in some parishes, but not much. But agriculture remains, however, and particularly in this period, the one sector that we have some control to rebuild the Jamaican economy. Let me explain. Since 1955, we have always assumed that tourism is to be the lead sector of the Jamaican economy. We provide, the government spends billions of dollars on infrastructure for tourism, highways, hotels, airports, seaports. You have a tourism enhancement fund. You have a Jamaica Tourist Board.
Yes.
The tourism sector has all kinds of import facilities duty-free.
Yes, that's true.
Since 1955, they have cornered the bulk of public expenditure.
Yes.
And it is a sector that only retains about 14% of its earnings in Jamaica. What is not foreign owned, the people don't keep the money here. Agriculture has never had this kind of support over the period. If you were to do an investigation and you look at the government subsidy and support for tourism versus agriculture, it's just a shock. And yet, with all our possibilities, Jamaica import $2 billion worth of food. A country, an island with 300 days of rain and sunshine. A population that just needs employment. And we can't organize agricultural production to feed ourselves and export. There's a $5 billion CARICOM market waiting to be filled. So my view is that if one sector is going to lead Jamaica's economic recovery, it can't be tourism, because there'll be no resurgence of tourism globally for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Agriculture, the possibilities are there, but it needs far more vision. What will it take to modernize Jamaica's agriculture? To realize a vision where we can feed ourselves, yes, and capture most of the $5 billion export market to CARICOM. Yes. First and foremost is the training of the labor force. I can't see agriculture going forward if we are technical,